Welcome to Around the Blockchain. Today we're talking about Bitcoin and Spark. We're talking about the ETH split, splitting the community, and also Reddit's 3 million wallets. We got a great episode on the top right. Don't talk about censorship to her, but you can talk about tacos. It is Crypto WendyO. Then on the top bottom right, we're hoping that fan was off so we can see how cool it looks. Everyone likes talking about his fan when it's on for whatever reason. It is CryptoFace with that market cipher mask. Then on the bottom left, we have Caleb Franzen, and he is a friend of mine. Second time on the show. I think he's going to do pretty good. And on the top left, also rocking some market cipher merch. Underneath is a Lux Algo shirt, though. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, AJ. It's AJ Pleasanton. AJ writes crypto. But before we get into those topics, everybody, let's look at the crypto markets and see where things are heading. It's still just kind of trading sideways. We're still in that little range of between 19,000 and 19,500. Kind of a little bit below that support level. A lot of people are saying we need to hold at 19,300, 19,250, but still nothing really too major at the moment. If we look at that 7-day chart, just you see that volatile action quickly scooped up and then now just largely trading sideways here. Now, Wendy, you know, a lot of people are saying, you know, we're circling that 19K level. And if we fall below these levels, it's 17.8, 17.3. The next, who knows, 15K, 13K, 11K. Are you feeling some of that fear, or are you feeling like, no, probably just going to be sideways for a while?
I mean, we've been consolidating sideways for over 100 days. I think it's like 120 days or something like that. But look at the structure. Look how boring this is. Absolutely boring. You've got upper part of Bollinger Band resistance at about 20,100, the lower resistance at 18.7, and we're just putting along. Generally, you're supposed to see a pinch at the upper part or the lower part to indicate a volatile movement coming. Right now, it's looking like we're going to retest probably between about 18.7 to about 18.3. But realistically, this is not really fun to trade. I know we have CryptoFace here. Face, are you trading this range at all?
Yes and no. Yes, in that I entered a trade like 2 weeks ago and I'm still in it and it's at like the entry price. And so, no, I would like to. Volatility came back for a little bit, like in the past month, and it kind of like just disappeared, almost like we're going to be searching for that volatility again is what I'm thinking. Probably to the downside, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, I've seen this before, and if it doesn't find that action, it's got to go somewhere to find it. It's trying to go up, it can't find it up. I don't know. You tell me, Wendy.
I feel like we're going to go down. And again, I have bids set all the way down to $9,500. That is not financial advice. Do not copy what I'm doing, but that is exactly what I'm doing. I want to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible at lower levels, hold on to it for a year or two, and swing that baby as hard as I can so I don't have to go back to work.
Yeah, make sure you don't dislocate the shoulders when you swing that baby, though. You know, hold on tight is all I'm saying. All right, well, CryptoFace, you know, I see you have the market cipher mask. I kind of want to ask, what is market cipher telling us about the DXY? We're getting a lot of data. The UK today reported 40-year high year-on-year inflation, 40-year high. And also today, Japanese yen is on that track to hit that 150 psychological level, trading with the dollar there. So what is market cipher saying about DXY? Because when DXY is high, Bitcoin is low, generally speaking. So are we getting close to the top here?
Oh man, you know, I know I've been saying the same thing about the Dixie for the past month or two, and you know, there's an article. It was actually one of the articles you guys had us kind of check out. I saw, you know, there's all kinds of people calling for tops, that the Dixie has to come down at some point. I don't see it. It's at the strongest. There's more money flow. There's more people moving into Dixie, dollars, fiat, even you could say. Not even just necessarily like if you just a dollar, but overall, people are scared of getting out of assets, getting into fiat, and so I think that's going to slow down. And I don't think that Dixie is going to slow down. Like people say the same thing when Bitcoin, you know, was going up. It's, you know, there's always people calling the top. So people calling the bottom. And so it's not, you know, in these normal markets, things can take more time with oil and fiat money. Like, things don't happen as fast as it does in the crypto world. And so, yeah, the Dixie might come down to like 109 and whatever, but man, in the long run, over the next year, 2 years, I tell you what, the hope for the Dixie to come down would be in the elections at the end of this year. That might have an effect of which side like wins seats and whatnot. And so that might be the way that like the Dixie takes a break, or maybe even has its top. That's one thing I could think of.
All right, AJ, on that note, I mean, is that something kind of clicking with you as well? Once the election is over, the parties that want to win, maybe they care a little bit less about pissing people off, frankly, when it comes to how they vote for our economic, laws and regulations. So do you think that maybe after the election, they don't mind that if the dollar gets weak here? I mean, could possibly things turn around in the Bitcoin market specifically?
Yeah, it's, it remains to be seen. Like, I'm not really sure. Like, there is a bunch of data in the past how elections have affected Bitcoin's market price, how midterm elections have affected market price. And I'm like not exactly too privy on all that stuff. But looking at the Bitcoin chart right now, like, it's just been unbelievably boring. But, that's what the market does. It wants to bore us to death. So it moves up or down really tough when we're not looking. It wants us to not pay attention. It wants to catch us tripping. And that is like kind of what the market makers are designed to do. I really wouldn't be surprised to see us go below the June low. That has kind of been the determining factor right now. If we're going to go below, everyone's like the bottom's already in. There's a lot of on-chain metrics that we went into earlier on the blockchain basement that indicate that the bottom is already in. I see the metrics. It makes sense, but there's a voice in the back of my head that's telling me that we're going 15, 16, even probably lower than that. A bunch of my favorite influencers, WendyO being one of them, are saying that 11, 12K. I wouldn't go against that. It remains to be seen. I don't have a crystal ball, but that's kind of how I feel. I also wouldn't be surprised to see us go up to 23, 25,000, and then the bulls get trapped, and then it comes back down below that. So.
Yeah, kind of typical. That's Garrett's prediction as well. We might have another leg up to 23, 24. All right, Caleb, I want to ask you about the FOMC meeting. We have one happening November 1st, roughly about 12 days away. And, I shared that Japanese yen data. We're actually at a 32-year high against the Japanese yen. We have 40-year high for inflation from the UK. We have a strengthening dollar. The DXY just keeps rising and rising and rising. Since we have such a strong and robust dollar, do you think that maybe the Feds are going to ease off the pain that they've been putting on the dollar so far?
It's a great question. First of all, thanks for having me on again. Really appreciate it. As it kind of pertains to, the Fed looking at global markets and currency dynamics in order to evaluate how they should move forward with monetary policy, nothing trumps inflation data here in the United States. And so, we've seen a lot of comments. I think Neil Kashkari came out recently and said, they're certainly keeping a pulse on what's happening overseas, what's happening in the UK bond market. But as far as they're concerned, they're not giving the market any indication that they're going to take their foot off the gas pedal, so to speak, in terms of easing the monetary tightening that they're already underway with. And so, when we look at something like the dollar versus the yen, I was pointing out a massive multi-decade head and shoulders pattern back in April of this year, saying, look, we likely do have more upside en route here as the dollar continues to tighten here in the US, and particularly as international central banks continue to ease. And so, we just continue to trend higher and higher and higher. I'm looking at my chart right now. We just broke up above the 1998 peak, right? And so if you like TA, if you like breakouts, this is a massive one because that 1998 peak immediately turned into a 31% drawdown. So clearly the market has a lot of price memory at that level, and we're just blasting through it. So, that's definitely something that I'm looking at. I would definitely agree with the comments by CryptoFace and even AJ. I don't see any reason for the Dixie to slow down its momentum. It's going to go through the same kind of pattern that all trending markets go through, which is that we're going to have an extension, a cool down, consolidation, and then another breakout extension. So, we could cool down again here very soon, or we could go into another extension phase. Either way, I'm still bullish on the dollar so long as the Fed continues to tighten.
All right, and I think you brought up a good point. When it comes to all these other currencies internationally, nothing trumps U.S. data when it comes to what they're going to do at those meetings. I think that's just a good takeaway. All right, well, let's talk about Ethereum. I did want to share the chart. We're talking about things being boring. You look, this is the 3-month chart. This is a 90-day chart. The first 60 days, oh man, we were having fun. The traders are making money. You're making money shorting. You're making money with the longs. Everybody's happy. And then just the last 30 days, what's going on here? Just nothing. Just a lot of sideways, choppy action. But right now, Ethereum's in the crosshairs for OFAC compliance. Of course, we're talking about censorship resistance. We now have 51% of Ethereum now being OFAC compliant here with regards to the OFAC sanctions, of course, related to the Tornado Cash sanctions. We have some wallets that are hidden. You're not supposed to interact with them. Let's block them. Let's just hide them from the EVM here. Now we're over 50% of blocks. And this is just from 4 vectors. Ethereum's MAV score is just 4. That is minimum attack vector to have a 51% attack. It's only 4 node operators right there. Just a little food for thought there. But Wendy, let's say the people who are just complaining about the censorship, they get their way and ETH does fork. What percentage, if you just had to throw out a rough number, what percentage of the community would embrace a second fork of Ethereum? Are we talking 1% of the, those patriots in the basement who just care more about, censorship and decentralization more than anything? Would it be 50% of people? I mean, what kind of community reaction would we get if ETH were to fork? How many people are jumping ship?
So I think it's just the people that are technologically savvy. And the reason why is crypto is still pretty hard to access. Even though we've made a lot of leaps and bounds, it's still hard to use. I don't know anyone in my family who can operate a MetaMask wallet. All of this is very unfortunate, though, and I feel like this move was 100% planned by Vitalik just so that he didn't have to deal with a lot of the regulatory issues. He could just kind of hand it over and be like, hey, we're going to go ahead and do this so you guys can go ahead and regulate us. Just tell us what to do, which is actually really, really sad because he came out earlier was talking about making it okay to censor certain transactions based on different beliefs, which is immensely problematic because Ethereum is supposed to be operating in a true decentralized economy. And just because you don't like that I live in a certain area or you don't like that I have a certain opinion shouldn't mean that I shouldn't be able to have access to my money. So we're going to see a lot of regulatory compliance come into play, and it's just kind of a very sad state of affairs when it does come to Ethereum. But at the same time, a lot of the other layer ones we have are even more centralized than Ethereum.
All right, good point there. All right, now Caleb, we're talking about the censorship. Is it any possibility here that it backfires and the crypto community starts rejecting Ethereum? Do you think this could have any blowback to its price, or do most people just not care?
I mean, it might have a small blowback to the price. I think most people who are getting into Ethereum as a long-term investment are really in it for the technology, right? So, I mean, even the way I view Ethereum is really as a, kind of blockchain infrastructure investment. I'm basically, if I'm owning Ethereum, I'm essentially, I don't want to say speculating on the fact, but speculating on the idea that people way smarter than me, programmers, developers, are going to build really cool use cases in the future. We have yet to see what those use cases are exactly going to materialize into over the long run. But I don't necessarily think that, like, from my perspective, the kind of censorship resistant nature of the platform. I mean, we saw the big blowback that already happened with PayPal, people trying to leave that platform now. And so certainly money could flow out of that system if the initial premise that those investors had was that they were going to have a censorship free place to be able to store value and transact. And so, I mean, it has yet to be seen. But I think at the end of the day, this basically just, continues to highlight the importance and significance of Bitcoin as a censorship-free system and monetary network.
All right, good answer there. And then, of course, you got to wheel it back into Bitcoin. I'm just kidding there. All right, CryptoFace, I might ask you about the charts in a second, but AJ, I want to ask you about a little game theory here. Let's just, paint a scenario. A lot of people are, they smell a fork coming. And what does a fork mean? You get some free coins in your wallet. It's just, what retail is going to look at that as. Is there any game theory components where should we be worried people will push for an ETH fork just for free coins without any real passion or desire to actually have a censorship-free Ethereum? Maybe counterintuitively to the coin in the short term, but maybe thinking, yeah, maybe I'll get a little bag of the new ETH Classic. Should we be worried about people trying to game this system and trying to game out a fork when one isn't needed?
Well, obviously there will always be that community of people that'll just be like, "Oh, I want this one thing that's free, like let's do this." And then it'll be hype for like 3 days tops, maybe 5, and then everyone that actually cares, everyone that actually is in the real Ethereum community is just going to stick with that, and it's going to go away in a couple days, and then that would be it. That's how I see it. I don't know.
All right, good answer. All right, now CryptoFace, I shared that 90-day chart. It looks like we were just having the time of our lives in August and September. And October, I'm just bored. I got nothing going on. Can we expect some fireworks in the future? Or, I mean, should I just go ahead and go to sleep here?
Well, I'd be saying, oh, feck, because I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Still looking sideways.
Who came up with that name? Oh, feck. It makes sense, actually. It makes sense. What was the question?
How's the Ethereum looking? Because we've been boring.
I'll tell you kind of what I think about this whole thing. I think Vitalik, like there's a lot of people, a lot of buzzards are around him. And if I was him, I'd probably just like, I'm kind of tired of hearing all this, like Ethereum 2.0 and forks, and what about this? And like I don't know, this industry, man, it's almost like the streamer Twitch gaming industry. It's full of a lot of pencil necks and a lot of like annoying little gnats. And if I was Vitalik, I would just be like, yeah, whatever, just like kind of answer not serious to whatever the hell these people are asking me to do. On like on a kind of a more serious note, governments are very powerful, and as as crypto people and these crypto holy soldiers that we believe in, whether it's Vitalik or Elon Musk or Craig Wright to some people, well, hell, he's the only one who hasn't bet to the government. Everyone who thinks is the most evil person in crypto is really the only one who hasn't bent over for the government yet. Think about that, okay? Anyways.
Except for the people who flew to Dubai. They didn't either. We love Da Vinci. We love Chris. We love Chris.
I'm going to say, hell yeah. But anyways, yeah, I don't know, dude. If I was Vitalik, I'd be tired of hearing everybody's shit. Like, Bitcoin's forked all the time. It's a fork, it's a spoon, it's a whatever. We'll see what the dollars choose.
Well, Spork, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this does play out as we get more and more censorship resistant, because 51% just seems to be the beginning. Who knows what the future is going to hold with this. I want to say, I don't think there's anything wrong with Tornado Cash. There's real lawful reasons to use it. It's not just a thing for criminals. But let's talk a little Reddit and the Snoo character. I think it's this little guy right here. This is according to the CEO, Polybot. They have now created more than 3 million Reddit vault wallets to buy and trade these NFT avatars. These launched in July, and these were airdropped, and they're free Polygon NFTs. There's a lot of some more rare ones that, generating a little bit more money. Some, I think, even tens of thousands of dollars. However, most of them trade in, less than probably $10 there. So Foundlings won the floor, 0.41 ETH, and another one, 0.5 ETH. So there's plenty of them trading around for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And now they're going to start using Arbitrum to scale out their community points, or I guess it's a form of their karma on the actual page there. Now, Wendy, 3 million new people onboarded for those NFTs. Were you surprised by that number? And is there any other community that might, do something similar here? Because 3 million's a lot.
Well, my oldest stepson, who I first heard about Bitcoin from way back in 2011, he actually bought his first NFT on that platform for $50 and then flipped it for 1.5 ETH. So I'm not surprised. And he's like not a really big crypto person. He doesn't really like it. But I'm not surprised at all, because it's a big platform. They have a lot of just average Joes on there. People want to have really cool avatars to use on that platform. So why not? I think it's amazing. And I actually think that platforms like Reddit, Reddit, whatever, are really going to help bring in mass adoption. You're not going to see mass adoption happen on crypto Twitter. Maybe you'll see some people get excited like that we saw previously, like on Clubhouse or TikTok. But we need a platform with actual real users to kind of adopt it. So I think it's amazing, and I'm 100% here for it.
Yeah, as much as I would like JPEG Junkies or CryptoFace's Pencil Next to be the catalyst for mass adoption, it's going to be the Starbucks, buy 10 coffees, get one free NFT. It's going to be Reddit. As much as I like for the other narrative to ring true there. AJ, we have other big tech companies. They try their hand at NFTs. Doesn't really seem to take off. Instagram, oh, you can link it on your profile pic. No one really cared. Twitter blew the hexagon. You barely ever see the hexagon. What was it about the Reddit community that made it such a success?
That's a pretty good question. I kind of think because like Reddit is kind of more of a place like for information and like sharing thoughts and ideas and stuff like that, where Instagram and Twitter, I mean, I guess you could say Twitter is the same exact thing, but Reddit is kind of like the underground, you know what I mean? It's like kind of where the tech people go to talk to the tech people, like kind of thing. Like a lot of articles I read, a lot of stuff I find out about Twitter, I actually find off of Crypto Reddit. I have an open tab of it on my computer, and I can see why those people would find value in a Reddit NFT, where Instagram and Twitter would be kind of just using them for profile pictures or something like that. So yeah, I don't know.
All right. Now, Caleb, why do you think that they chose Polygon to onboard everybody? Because some people, it's a little confusing to add Matic to your network. Not quite as easy as Binance Smart Chain. You got to be careful what you Google or even watch on YouTube to see how to do it. So, why do you think they went with Polygon?
I'll preface this by saying, I don't really get too far out into the different altcoins. I am familiar with Polygon and Matic and the whole 9 yards, and I think I basically my short answer to that is, I don't have a specific answer, but just kind of thinking about Polygon as an overall network and as a piece of technology, if you will. There's that common saying in bear markets that bear markets are for builders, right? And so when I kind of hear that phrase and then think about what are some of the different cryptocurrencies that have probably built the most, I think Polygon has to be up there. They've had big announcements with Starbucks, with Disney, with Adidas. A lot of these are all NFT related. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves going forward. Clearly, they have something there with NFTs on their blockchain, and so traditional companies, if you will, are looking to get involved, whether they're media companies, consumer discretionary companies, whatever the case is. Somehow, some way, they want to get involved, and they're coming to Polygon for it. So they have some sort of secret sauce. I'm not sure what it is.
All right, now CryptoFace, I don't want to paint you in a corner with this answer. What do you think of Arbitrum or Polygon? The CEO said this. Thoughts? I want to know, what is CryptoFace just overall thoughts on Reddit and the Reddit NFTs? I'm sure there's a lot of people watching right now. Pretty interested in just what's the CryptoFace thesis here?
Yeah. Well, Reddit, it's like it's the difference between Reddit and Twitter is that you can go in depth. Like Twitter stirs people because you can only say so much, and so like it causes kind of it's a focus for the short attention span. 3 million, man, that is a lot. 3 million. Reddit also has a bot problem. It's a little different than Twitter's, but they do have a huge bot problem. But it's a much more self-regulated thing. But it's also dirty. Reddit's also very, very dirty in some of its like groups and how they're run, like the management and trying to get a hold of like Reddit legally and shit. If someone lies about you on Reddit, it can be a damn mess. But it makes sense. I don't know anything about like Polygon, to be honest with you, but there's a lot of people using it. My girlfriend asked me if I used Reddit like months ago, and I said no. She's like, thank God, because her little girlfriends told her not to be Reddit people. But no, Reddit's cool, and they have a big thing going on. They should be doing something. It's a big focus with the crypto community, so God bless them. I hope everyone makes a bunch of money somehow, and that like they're able to make it fun. Discord, actually, as much as I think the leadership in Discord is absolutely terrible, they just added something like literally yesterday where you can play poker and play little games. And so I kind of just they're both kind of similarly, like I see similarities in how they're run. So there's a couple positive steps with these companies, you know, that are making Discord, Reddit, and stuff. So God bless them. Hope everyone makes a bunch of money and does well.
You know, there's a lot of people watching at home. Listen to what you said, what your girlfriend said. Like, wait a minute, what? Wait, I'm a Reddit guy. Hey, is that why I'm forever
whatever,
alone?
Like,
PNG.
you know, whatever. I can see why. You know, there's extremes. You know what I mean? Reddit kind of, you know, we don't need to go into it. You know,
reminds me of the party meme where the guys in the corner,
Training.
they don't even know I'm a Redditor. Oh man, sad stuff. Sad stuff. All right, well, Caleb, somehow the Bitcoin maxi won. You know, it was only Bitcoin's only one of the three stories. You still pulled it off. Caleb, feel free, leave us with some parting thoughts, please, my friend.
Again, thanks for having me on. It's great to meet everyone here on this platform, and for everyone who's in the audience, you know, congrats on being here, because I think, you know, certainly it's a lot more fun in a bull market when things are going our way immediately. But from my perspective, and you know, I used to work in wealth management for some time at Merrill Lynch, and then worked on the commercial banking side for about 2 years. You know, real money gets made during times where other people, where, you know, markets are unfavorable in the short term. So continue to kind of keep your head down, be in the weeds on this stuff, and we'll make it out on the other side, hopefully just fine. Check me out on Twitter. I write a free Substack newsletter as well, so I'd love if people came and check that out.
All right, and a quick shout out to Billy the Goat with the super chat, JPEG Junkies to the moon, and make sure you check out Marcus Cypher. Make sure you check out Crypto WendyO's channel. Make sure you check out Caleb on Twitter. All these people putting out fantastic content.
Wendy looking hot today, girl, looking fresh.
On that note, be easy, BitSquad.